Hello, I'm Dr. Daniel Daves. The U.S. dollar has just failed critical support. What does this mean for you and I? The results could be cataclysmic. It's very important that you don't take this report lightly. As you may or may not know, we are market investors and traders, and we use a technical system that we call the rhythm of God, tracking the nation's and world's largest giant money handlers and what they do with their money. Recently, the U.S. dollar just failed critical support, which could have cataclysmic problems and reactions for you and I in America. Anyone who's holding the U.S. dollar could be tragically affected. And it could happen at a very, very early time frame. Please let me explain. While not going into great detail of how these things happen, I'm holding right now a glass of wonderful lemonade. And I love this lemonade, but if I were to dilute the strength of this lemonade, it's not going to taste as good. It's not going to be as valuable. As a matter of fact, imagine yourself going down to your neighbor whose little child is selling lemonade for 50 cents, and you pick up that lemonade, and but you don't realize that what they did to try to save money was they took water and diluted the lemonade. And they diluted it down so far that you couldn't even tell that it was lemonade any longer. It was just more like milk water. You paid the 50 cents, and it was somewhat of a resemblance of lemonade, yet it wasn't the real thing. You're not going to be back. You're not coming back. You're not buying the lemonade again. The kid got your 50 cents, and he got you once, but he's not going to get you again. In the same way, the U.S. dollar has been so diluted over the last year with the Federal Reserve and our U.S. government printing unrestrained money to the degree that Germany did the same thing in the 1920s. From 1919 to 1923, their German mark fell in value to such a degree that an entire savings account, a retirement account, was retired worthless in 4 years because it only became worth the value of one postage stamp. The U.S. dollar just failed God's rhythm of support. The U.S. dollar could fall anywhere from 15 to 30, 40% in value. What does this mean for you and I? Well, it means that the U.S. dollar, while it still looks like a dollar, is going to fall in value. That $1 toothbrush at Walmart may become worth $1.40. If you've noticed already, the frog effect, the slow-cooked frog, is taking effect right now. Gas prices are up a few cents, as in 30 cents. We have, if you've gone to a restaurant lately, you've noticed that food at that restaurant is typically $1 to $3 higher per meal. You'll notice at the grocery store that bag of groceries is getting smaller, or the bill is getting bigger. These are hyperinflationary, slow-cooked frog effects that we don't see creeping up around us, such as your energy bill creeping up in value. Suddenly the energy companies want more dollars. Things begin to cost more. And in a slippery slope decline of a U.S. dollar or any fiat currency, people will begin to make runs on their bank accounts, grab their cash out, and throw it at anything hard in nature that they can in order to try to capture value. This is very, very important, and you need to know what to do with your cash and with your currencies. Now, just 2 days after we announced the failure of the U.S. dollar, suddenly the reports began coming out. U.S. treasuries fall and decline, the largest decline in history, and many things begin to be reported right in front of you after we called this slippery slope failure. Also, gold and silver just inched up. Silver popped a brand new high. Gold is at new highs and heading upwards in full recovery and skyrocketing. Why are the gold and silver companies and certain market companies heading upwards violently right now? Because there are certain institutions and certain big money boys that are writing great big checks and putting those checks into the areas they know will actually incline rather than decline. In this type of environment, the person who's saving money under the pillow loses. The person who saves money in their bank account loses. Let me tell you this, it is nothing less than a perfect bank heist. Have you ever seen Ocean's 11? Well, how would you like to see the next Ocean's version of the perfect bank heist, where you have a savings account, and let's say that savings account has $100 in it, and within months your savings account is totally ripped off, yet when you go to the account, the $100 is still there. The problem is it will only buy $50 worth of value. So the money is left there, but the bank heist has taken place. My friend, please do not allow yourself to be destroyed by wicked principalities and powers that are at work against you and against your money. You've got to get informed. Now listen, I've got an offer for you, and I have read this book front to back twice, and I am an absolute proponent of this book. This book, in my opinion, tells the whole story. Now, Dr. Larry Bates is a former bank president, bank owner, I believe, and this man has known the system. He left the system to warn people years ago of what was coming. And what was coming is now coming and could be coming at rocket speed right towards your house and your future. Dr. Larry Bates with the Surviving the New Economic Disorder. This book is 225 pages, chock full of strategies for weathering this next coming crisis and keeping your finances intact. Again, I've read this thing twice, and I cannot be more of a proponent other than we bought a bunch of these to make available to you. Here are a few of the chapters. Understanding the times you're living in. God's promises for these times, which are very important. Remember, God does not want you to suffer during these times. He wants you to be protected. I could take you to Pharaoh and Egypt and the children of Israel, and I could show you how God Himself delivered the children of Israel out of Pharaoh's control. And I'm telling you right now, America is enslaved to a U.S. dollar system that is threatening to take the slaves all the way into the grave. But God does not want you enslaved to that dollar any longer or to any system of slavery. He wants you free. So He has promises for this time. There is an opposing plan to hide the truth, and I'm here to tell you that the United States banks are not friends with gold and silver. They are the enemies of gold and silver, because when gold and silver go up, the U.S. dollar goes down. But banks are not selling gold and silver. They sell dollars. Unfortunately, for many people, they don't realize that banks have just turned and are now recommending to buy gold and silver, and they themselves are buying gold and silver. Why would that be? It's just another technical indicator that tells you we're living in a very, very serious time. Folks, 2009 is very, very serious. You need to get this book, and you need to get it yesterday. And this book needs to be a part of your immediate library. You need to read a chapter every night minimum. I'm telling you, we may only have 1 to 12 weeks to get ready. This could be the book that helps to save your life, your marriage, your family, your future, your 401k, your whatever it is that you have. I want to make an offer to you right now. I have a bulk of these books, and I'm going to get them to you. As you may also know, my heart is children, and we feed children in various parts of the world through Children's Feeding Network. If you will make a donation of any kind to Children's Feeding Network to help the programs continue to feed the children, I will send you as our thank you, I'll send this book to you. If you make a donation of $100 or more, I'll send you 2 books. One for you, one for a family member, one for you, one for a friend, or however you want to work it.